Hello everyone, today's video is going to be a birthday shaker card. I started off with an image I'd already stamped for another project and ran it through my Big Shot machine using the Spellbinder Circles die. Once the image was cut out, I used my EK Success markers to color it in. The colors used will be listed above in the video. I decided to color in the birthday gift with some bright cheery colors to make it stand out. I then colored in the hedgehog and thought they would look cute with some rosy cheeks. I did notice later on that I'd missed one of the hedgehog's feet, so went back in and fixed it. For the grass, I made it simple and just colored around the hedgehogs. The last thing I did was color in the sky using the chisel tip because it was such a big area and it made it go faster. Next, I used my EK Success scissors to trim off the excess paper. Now that the excess paper is cut off, I didn't have a real plan of what I was going to do next. So I left the card alone for a little bit and then came back to it when I had an idea. I had remembered watching Prairie Paper and Ink's YouTube channel where Amy had made an Easter circle shaker card. The link to her channel will be listed down below. After watching her video, it gave me some inspiration. Once I had an idea of what I was going to put on the front of my card, I grabbed my ATG tape runner and adhered the circle to the front. After the circle was adhered, I then grabbed some clear acetate and used my Big Shot machine and the circles die to cut it out. When the acetate went through the Big Shot, it didn't fully cut through, so I just took my scissors and cut it out, but you could always add another cutting plate to help when running it through. Now I got my foam tape and lined it to the acetate and found that it was too wide, so took my EK Success scissors and cut a thin strip off. Once you take off the backing of the tape, it's easier to move the tape around the circle. Make sure when putting the foam tape around there is no gap where anything could fall out, or else your shaker card's not going to work. Also, when cutting out the acetate, I grabbed a piece of patterned paper I had and cut the outside edge of the circle to go around the shaker card. After the circle was ready, I grabbed some sequins I thought would match the colors I used on the image. I made sure not to add too much sequins or it wouldn't shake well. Now the shaker part was ready, so I flipped it over and adhered it to the circle. Now when flipping it over, I realized I should have just put the sequins on the image and not in the acetate to make it easier. But I just ended up picking off the sequins so I'd be able to fully adhere to the circle and nothing would fall out. The last two things I added to the front of the card was a blue piece of ribbon. I used some liquid glue and my acrylic block to push it down until the glue is dry and made sure it was held well. I also took one of my flower stamps and some black VersaFine Onyx inks and the Tim Holtz Preserves ink to add a nice design to the front of the card. For the inside of the card, I made it simple and used 2 of my stamps with some black VersaFine Onyx ink. Once everything was stamped, I thought the card looked complete. Thank you for watching, and as always, a list of the supplies used and mentioned will be down below in the info box.